Up until the 1880s, bank employees were exclusively male. The creation of new administrative departments, never in direct contact with customers, coincided with the fast hiring of women in the major financial establishments. Contrary to common belief, women were being taken on to work in banking before the First World War. This was part of a wider movement that saw the feminization of clerical work, with the fairer sex often deemed more competent or conscientious and sometimes even more honest. Women seemed perfect for the jobs that were primarily created at the head offices of the large banks. They worked under the scrutiny of a senior employee who was also a woman, since women had no contact with customers or with their male colleagues. In certain banks, they entered the building through a special entry, and in all the establishments where they were employed, they worked and took their meals in separate rooms. In 1909, women, often young and educated from the middle classes who needed to work, represented 1/10 of the main staff at the Credit Foncier. In 1914, they accounted for almost 25% of the total Parisian staff at the CNEP, 700 out of 3,000. However, these figures hide a disparity in status. Women were paid lower salaries than their male counterparts and had far less job security. They could be paid and dismissed without notice. Their status was often only that of an auxiliary, and it took them far longer than men to obtain a permanent status. Globally, currently, women's labor force participation rate is 48.5%, and according to Bloomberg data, in the overall financial services industry, 12% of corporate board members are women. Women are present in all areas of banking activity. The world is keen to promote gender equality in all areas of the workplace, and no doubt,
tattoos are a permanent form of body art that we use for our aesthetic or sentimental reasons and to celebrate our fandoms, first originating as far back as 3370 BC. Today, tattoos may have just found a new purpose: to save human lives. Let's take it away. Researchers around the world are working on smart tattoos that can monitor health conditions from diabetes to cancer and track them around the clock. The tattoos could then raise the alarm when something went wrong, simply by changing color. These high-tech tattoos contain chemical dyes that react to specific biomarkers in the blood, naturally occurring molecules that increase or fall if there are potential health problems, or are released when disease is present. Much of the initial research is focusing on type 1 diabetes, where blood sugar levels can become dangerously high or low in patients who need to inject insulin daily to control their illness. Scientists are also developing smart tattoos that could give an early warning of major illnesses such as sudden respiratory failure, which can affect patients with smoking-related chest problems. Smart tattoos could even revolutionize cancer treatment by monitoring how well patients are responding to treatment. Scientists are also refining ways to do the tattoos without needles, such as painlessly blasting the dye into the skin with sound waves. So, would you want to have a smart tattoo? Let us know through our social media handles at Metropol TV KE.
What if you got the opportunity to start over, to go back, to learn from every mistake, to scrape every lesson from your past, and start with a clean slate? What would you do differently? What lessons have you learned in your past? And how would you apply them if you could start over? What if you had another opportunity to do better? To be better? Would you take it? You get that opportunity every day. We all get that opportunity every day. It's called waking up. Every day you wake up is a blessing, and you should never take that blessing for granted. You can choose to start over. You can choose today to do better. You can choose to live with a clean slate, which means you let go of your past and focus on now, right now. What are you going to do right now to create a better future for yourself? What plans are you going to make now for today and in the future to ensure this new version of you is better than the last? Will your future self be proud of you? Will your tomorrow self be proud of you by the work you do today, by the person you are today? You have to earn that future pride. If you're not putting in the work today, your future will pay the price. Let go of who you were. If you don't, you'll never know who you truly can be. Let go of who you were and focus on who you will become.
Every morning you wake up, remind yourself that you have another opportunity to experience your greatest day. Another opportunity to push yourself. Another opportunity to set an example. Another opportunity to learn something that will make you better. Another opportunity to enjoy the day, to enjoy other people, to enjoy life. You are blessed to get the opportunity of life. Make the most of it.
Create the best version of you. Start today.
What sets you out from the rest? What makes you stand out? Get the most outstanding and credible business information. Only on Metropol TV, Kenya's first business channel.
There's no news story that is in touch with the needs of the audience like a business news story. Therefore, as a business anchor, it is in my mandate to understand the source of the story and, most importantly, consequences of the story. Which means before I take that script into my hands, I have to be close to the story. I have to experience the story. Or simply, I have to live the story. It is Friday, the 5th of July, 2019. It's 1 p.m., so welcome to Metropol News at 1. My name is Nina Shaban.
From street to street. Tunaangazia biashara kadha wa kadha ambazo kwa na as little as 5,000 shillings unaweza anzisha biashara yako na igrow. And from these businesses, you can get an idea or two on how to boost your business. Haya basi, ishakuwa kipindi ni The Hustle na mi ni Tabitha Muthoni ndani ya Metropol TV.
Focus of body and mind is crucial for a productive day.
Work on the obliques.
We'll look at trends that affect your business day.
Who has a bird's eye view of the whole economy?
These are things that the government should be able to spell out for Kenyans.
An in-depth analysis of the markets.
Markets have been very fearful.
Deploy the capital into investment opportunities.
Business headlines covered extensively.
71 years.
Inspire the whole spectrum of entrepreneurs.
Maneuvered in the harsh economies and all that.
With financial and business literacy in a language easy to understand.
At the simplest form, contracts. The creation of the human mind.
As we look at the boss lady in her element as a woman and a boss.
That women can have access.
As we journey you through farms and produce markets.
This is money.
Taking a breather and even in that, learn a thing or two.
Global map of growth rates.
Taking a look at the business of entertainment.
Movies, fashion, beauty.
Following the money in sports.
Then you widen your stance.
Before switching off our mics and let you have your say.
The economy is undergoing a serious hardship.
Looking at technology as it affects your day-to-day business.
The customer will get notification.
This is Metropol TV.
Banking industry is in the business of taking deposits and trying to lend those into the economy to spur the economy. And that was a little bit held back, as we've seen with the interest rate cap regime. I'm optimistic now, if the cap is repealed, that we'll try to see banks lending more, in particular to the MSME segment, which is a major employer and economic driver within our country, because that I think is the future of economic growth. So I think banks are quite keen to lend, quite keen to diversify out their portfolios, and this represents that opportunity. Having said which, we still need to remember that there are a number of other things which contribute to the cost of credit and the efficiency of credit getting into the system. And I think it's going to be important that the banking sector and the industry works with the authorities, to address those. Some of them have already been addressed, in terms of movable securities legislation. But we would like to also see the use of technology, digitization, to be able to speed up things like, for example, the charging and discharging of security and collateral. For example, land, such that the process is quicker than it is today. And there are a number of other things. You've seen the governor and the central bank go through the demonetization process. As we start seeing more digital transactions, more mobile and internet transactions, again, that hopefully makes it more efficient, because cash is a very expensive, practical way of making payments. So I think we're optimistic, and the banks are committed to do what is good for the economy.
Welcome to the home of beaches, luxury and entertainment. County 001, Mombasa County. Mombasa County is Kenya's second largest city after the capital Nairobi, with an estimated population of about 1.5 million people. The county is further divided into 6 sub-counties, namely Mvita, Jamvu, Changamwe, Kisauni, Nyali, and Likoni, each headed by an elected member of parliament, and further divided into 30 wards that are each headed by ward representatives. It is under the administration of Governor Ali Hassan Joho, who is deputized by Dr. William Kingi, Mohammed Fakir as Senator, Asha Hussein as Woman Representative, and Evans Achoki as County Commissioner. Mombasa is a regional, cultural and economic hub with an